No, cut that out. Cut that out. There's also the capacitive blah, blah, blah. Well, I said that weird. Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 86 and I'm taking a look at a projector from Elite Screens. It's actually a bundle. It's a projector and a screen that they sent. The ideal place for using it, I guess, is off camping, going outdoors, going on trips. If you're somebody that does RV stuff, that seems like the ideal opportunity to have something like this for. However, I intend things to be home use and I totally love this projector. Now, full disclosure, Elite Screens didn't offer this as a loaner. I have to give it back to them, and all they really did was aggressively marketed me for wanting to buy one now. But it's not mine to keep, but it was the opportunity to show you guys something, so I definitely took it because I have fun with things like this, and if I'm in any way ever helpful, then I hope that I can share that with you and help you make an informed decision. So this is the MosicGO Sport. Now, it also comes in the MosicGO Lite format too, so it's a more slimmed down version of this for a couple $100 less, and I'll cover more of that around the end of this video, and I'll post timestamps down below for things you might be interested in, as I normally do with these longer videos. But let's quickly start with this and get through as much of it as we can. We're looking at between 1,000 to 1,500 lumens. I believe 1,500 lumens is the rated lighting for this one. Now, take lumens with a grain of salt, as there's no governing body that actually holds any company to it. I can tell you firsthand experience though, super bright, super comfortable. Love it. Now on our sides here, we have two HDMI inputs, HDMI 1 and HDMI 2. So think game console and a Roku, or game console Blu-ray player, or two game consoles, or two Rokus. I don't know, whatever you guys put into your HDMIs, it has two of them on there. There's also an audio out jack right here. It's 3.5 millimeters, so you can go 3.5 millimeters to balance speakers, or 3.5 to 3.5. Just source your audio out. You could even go headphones. It definitely has a picture of headphones on it. You can go headphones and sit there and listen quietly with yourself. Now this variant, the Sport model, does have two USB Type-C outs that are power bank compatible. So you can use it to charge things like phones, as well as on the other side, two USB Type-A outs that you can use to power things like the Roku stick or a Fire Stick or a phone. Down here more towards the front or back, depending on how you want to orient it, away from the actual projector bulb, down here we have a trig out. Now the trigger out looks like a 3.5 jack. It is not. Most people, I think, are pretty familiar with what a trigger out is, but if you're not, I'll explain it here. Say you have a motorized screen by Elite Screens, for instance. A lot of them have a trigger input, so if you have a projector with a trigger output, then you can plug it into there and it'll send a signal to this motorized screen to tell it, okay, you've turned it on, time to come down. It essentially triggers the screen to react to what you do with the projector. Now the projector does get a little bit loud. I counted 5 90mm, probably rifle bearing fans all the way around it. There's two on this side, two on this side, the left and the right that is. And then on the bottom there's one for intake. And when these fans get going, they sure do get loud. This is a problem that plagues most projector companies. Finding a quieter fan solution or a quieter cooling solution seems to be a difficult step for most OEM projector production companies. Now on the top you do have a wheel right here, and this wheel does help you with focusing and fine-tuning kind of what your picture is going to look like. It does do a pretty good job of auto keystone and autofocus right out of the box. As soon as I set it up, I didn't have any major problems. I did make small micro adjustments, and when you do adjust it, essentially you're moving this bulb right here back and forth towards or away from the mirror in order to find that fine-tuned perfect adjustment. Now on the right hand side or left hand side, depending on how you consider whatever to be the front of this projector, anyways, this shiny spot is where your capacitive touch controls are. The capacitive touch controls do mimic the remote, so if you don't know where the remote is, your wife lost it somewhere, we didn't lose it, don't worry, Elite Screens, then it's right here that you can walk up to it and make your selections that way, whether you're going through the menu, turn the volume up and down, hit the menu button, hit OK, select, all that good stuff. It's all right here. Capacitive touch controls, they do illuminate, makes it nice and easy to see it in the dark. Even though this thing is super bright on the wall, there's no way you couldn't see it. Now the projector does have the ability to be a Bluetooth speaker. They are down-firing speakers, so if you're on a level flat surface such as a table or a dresser or something, your sound does come across a little bit muffled. But when you have it on a tripod, the sound kind of disperses out a little better and doesn't sound like it's sitting on a pillow. From former, like the 504 series of the Tough series, it's definitely an improvement over those. You get a lot out of this little panel that they put on here, and it's pretty impressive to have a 144 hertz IPS panel. The colors with the panel are a little bit lackluster. Anyways, we'll pause here and you can take a listen to a sound comparison between these and the MX speakers that I use, and tell me what you think. Wasn't that lovely? On the bottom side of the projector are 4 adjustable feet, but you don't really need to do much with those like you did with the PF-1000U, which, by the way, striking resemblance with the PF-1000U, don't you think? Now, if you have a pretty dramatic surface that you're putting it on, they come in pretty handy because they can come out a pretty decent length. You also have a metal mounting plate, whether you decide to hang this upside down and do it in upside down reverse mode, or if you want to put it on the tripod and cast it onto the screen or a screen that's provided, or a barn door, or wherever you want to cast it. It does have a thread mount down here so that you can easily set it to tripod or a ceiling mount and have it ready to go. This specific model weighs about 6 pounds. It's pretty heavy. So something I don't like is the fact that it's infrared over radio frequency. And what I mean by that is we have an IR receiving spot right here for the remote. If your remote's not line of sight, or you don't have a good angle to get to it to shoot that signal there, then it doesn't work optimally. Been real spoiled by RF and different kinds of Bluetooth controllers that, you know, you can just kind of lay there real lazily and not point at it. You can't do that here. You need to actually point some line of sight at it to get it to register. Now, this projector is 1080p, full HD 1080p, and it looks gorgeous. I have a very difficult time discerning where the screen door effect is, so check out these shots and see if you can tell where the screen door effect is. They did an excellent job with that. Now, while I don't know what DLP chip it is, it's safe to assume it's one of the newer ones from Texas Instruments, and if you're somebody that suffers the adverse effects of the rainbow effect, you might want to avoid a DLP projector. And the problem with DLP projectors is there are some people that are very tuned into the color wheel spinning, and these people are adversely affected by what's called the rainbow effect, and it doesn't happen to all of us. Most of us don't even see it. DLP projectors will do that, so just keep that in mind. So the light version comes without the battery inside. It needs to be plugged into DC input and pretty much just stay plugged in. I mean, not pretty much, it does need to stay plugged in. There's no battery in there, there's no power bank in there, but it's essentially the same projector, just without the extra bulk internal of having the power bank, the battery, and the portability. As far as the sport version's battery, it takes a whopping 4 hours for me to charge this thing. I charged it from dead all the way up 4 hours, and you get about 2.5 to 3 hours out of it, depending on what your power input is and what power draw you have coming out of it. Always keep that in mind. If you're plugging a bunch of things into it, you're going to lessen your battery life. I've answered that on a lot of videos before, so I feel like I should probably just mention it in the video in case somebody sees it. The more objects you have going into it running on battery, the more power it's going to use to power these objects. And while this seems like an obvious statement, I just want to make sure that's clear. It really depends on what power draw you're pulling from it, or how long the battery is going to last. It's really hard to give somebody a good answer on something like that. When it comes to looking at different ranges of colors, the blacks are pretty decent. We'll do a black crush test here, and I'll do an overexposed shot so that you can see what box I can see. And because a black crush test is only as good as your own monitor or screen, whatever you're watching on is going to allow it to be. So I'll show you the overexposed shot in a circle picture here. We're also going to pause here real quick, and I'm going to show you some B-roll of different shots. These shots are going to include light shots and dark shots. They're all stock footage so that there's no copyright claims. And this way you can hopefully kind of see what image quality you can see. Now, it really is difficult on a camera, especially with DLP, because DLP does scan lines, so it's hard to really articulate that, but I'm going to do my best to show you what it looks like. And just keep in mind, the scan lines aren't seen in person, and no video I can make is going to do justice really for a good projector. When I compare this projector with something like the UO2, it blows it out of the water. No contest whatsoever. It totally drops a nuclear bomb on it and there it goes, it's done. The UO2 now looks like a toy, a Fisher-Price toy that I no longer want to watch a video on after using this. When I compare it to the 1000U, it's definitely better in my opinion, but it's right up there neck and neck with it probably. It definitely has a brighter image and it has features that I enjoy, such as the quick auto keystone, and the focus wheel is a lot easier to use. I definitely enjoy using the MosicGO a lot more than my PF-1000U. It's really convinced me. I think that I'm gonna have to go with a MosicGO myself. When you buy this, you don't just get the projector, you do get the screen, and the screen is pretty simple to set up. Now at first when I pulled it out of the bag, I was like, this looks like a bunch of complicated folded aluminum. It all pops into place so easy. On top of that, the stand is incredibly light, and that makes it really easy to move it around, really easy to set it up, really easy to put it together. A child could do it. The screen itself is made out of nice waterproof material that you can snap around, and it's got a nice stretch so you can get that good taut feel to it, so it's a nice flat, good looking screen. And of course they're Elite screens, so why wouldn't I expect them to have something nice there? But let's talk about what Elite screens isn't. Elite screens is not Elite tripods, and that little tripod, the little camera tripod that they send with this projector, really has me worried. I don't like that tripod at all. I'm not confident using it with the projector to put it on the stand. It is not a very good tripod. If you've ever bought like a camera or something and it comes with like free goodies like SD cards and camera lens wipes and macro lenses and a little tripod, it's one of those. It's kind of a garbagey tripod. No offense, Elite screens. I'd go with something better than that. Don't give that to people regularly. Especially because this projector weighs 6 pounds. At least the sport version weighs 6 pounds. So when I put it on there, I get really uncomfortable with how well that's actually gonna hold it. One other criticism I have too is something that hopefully can be fixed in updates of firmware. Firmware updates will probably fix this. I have problems with the menu functions, especially on battery mode. When I'm on battery mode, sometimes the menu lets me use it and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes I'm actively using it and the menu just goes away like it's on a timer. If you ever sat there and a menu times out, it's sort of like that, but I'll be doing stuff like adjusting contrast or trying to change it in whatever mode it's in, and the menu just goes away. It's very frustrating. For whatever reason, the menu controls are not as simple and straightforward as you would think. You have to go left and right in order to go up and down. Up and down don't do anything, or vice versa. You have to go up and down to go left and right. Left and right do keystone while you're in the menu. It's really complicated feeling. OK doesn't always OK, and some of the boxes decide they're going to work one time when the menu's open, but not another time when the menu's open. It's a manageable problem. It's something I can deal with, but it's something that I think definitely needs to be addressed and maybe fixed. Knowing Elite screens, I'm sure they're going to be right on top of fixing that and making sure this thing is primo. I believe this is their first real endeavor with a projector, so I'm definitely going to give them that headroom to make better adjustments to it. It's off to an amazing start with this projector. It is fantastic. Totally forgetting something, and I don't know what it is. Okay, so I remembered what I forgot. What it is rated for rain to a certain degree. You don't want to set it out in a thunderstorm, but it is rain rated, spill proof. It is rain rated, so if it starts raining, you have time to get it in safely, and it should be okay. Also, with DLP projectors, you're usually looking at the best latency for playing games at about 15 to 17 milliseconds latency, and that's much better than 3LCD or LCOS projectors. Anyways, we're going to pause here, and I'll show you some game latency demos, or try to as best as I can anyways. And then that's it. I think I got everything that I wanted to cover in this video, so be sure and post your questions down below in case I missed what your burning question is or what you wanted to know about. Guys, if you have any questions or comments about it, be sure and leave them down below. I'll do my best to get back with you. I know there's probably some things I didn't cover that you might have been interested in, and I'm going to try and get back with you and let you know. You guys have a great day, night, whatever it is, and I'll see you in the next video that I do. Bye.